everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this week's video I wanted to just talk a bit about my old hamster care and kind of just my previous mistakes when it comes to owning my hamsters. I did do a similar video I think like last year and it was kind of the same thing, but I talked about my pet care in general and like chinchillas as well. So in this week's video I wanted to just kind of focus on my hamster care and the mistakes that I made there. Of course, as we all know, the majority of people who own hamsters get a hamster either impulsively bought or just bought a hamster but didn't have the proper care and at some point probably had to upgrade. So I wanted to just share with you my hamster care journey and what I kind of started off with to where I am now. I kind of just want to share with you my mistakes, and hopefully if you guys have done the same things or are doing the same mistakes right now, hopefully you can kind of learn from this and not do the same things that I did. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So my very first hamster that I had, I think I was about a 6 or a 7-year-old at this point in time. Of course, I wasn't like looking after this hamster all by myself. I genuinely like barely did anything. I was like 6 or 7, so my parents, my grandma kind of just took most of the responsibility and cared for it. I believe it was a Russian dwarf. I genuinely have forgotten the name. As I said, I was like 6 or 7, so I don't really remember, but I think it was a female Russian dwarf. I don't remember exactly the cage name, but I'll put a little picture of what it looks like on the screen. I do remember it had like a little pink bottom and then a rounded clear top. It was really tiny though. I would say it probably maximum had like 100 square inches or like 150. And yeah, it was one of those little pets at home cages, not very good at all. I remember it was pink cage and it had like a little pink wheel, and I'm sorry, but that wheel was probably like maximum 4 or 5 inches, and of course not safe at all, especially for a Russian dwarf, because they should definitely have something bigger than that. And to be honest, even for a Roborosky, that is way too tiny. Of course, the bedding depth was really like not a lot, and I remember we used to buy these like off-brand wood shavings from Pets at Home. They were like really dusty, and yeah, of course in the cage there was probably only like a hut, some chew toys and a food bowl, and no enrichment at all. I think that the hamster either escaped or just died, but I don't remember them living very long. I think it was only for about a year or something. And to be honest, I wouldn't have expected them to live long anyway, because their care was just so horrible. So a couple years later, I was about like 8ish, I think it was about a year later, I got my Syrian hamster. He had like little ginger spots on his back, and he was just kind of white all over, and he was called Fluffy. Again, I was 8, so I obviously hadn't learned from my mistakes and done any research. At this point in time, there wasn't a lot of kind of hamster care information out. Anyway, I think that Fluffy's cage, it was either like a green bottom one or was a pink one. I can't remember. Again, really tiny cage. I think it was like the same kind of size cage, but I either had like a different color bottom. And he just had like a little kind of hut, but it was also a ladder, food bowl and some chew toys, and that was literally it, and like water bottle, and again only bedding to cover the bottom of the cage. So basically the exact same thing I did with my previous hamster, and yeah, just not good care at all. Also, I do remember his diet, it was really bland, and the food that was kind of more varied, there was like the little really like sugary bits. I think they were the Friends and Farm food. I don't remember what it was called, but I'll put a picture up on the screen of what it looks like. It was that brand, and that food, I would not recommend it. It's really bland, and yeah, he didn't get any protein and nothing, no enrichment. Also, I remember that Fluffy used to like kind of, so at the top there was a little bit like of a wire section, and he used to bar climb on that like a lot, and I used to just think that he was like doing gymnastics or something, because like I was an 8 or 7-year-old. So then after that, like quite a few years passed, and I got my chinchillas, Silver and Fluffy. Unfortunately, Fluffy did pass away. So, yeah, but I got my chinchillas. And then after I got my chinchillas, well, to be honest, I've been watching like Victoria Rachel for quite a while. So I kind of like already been watching her and stuff. And the proper hamster care wasn't like new to me. Then beg my parents to get Nugget for Christmas, which I did. I think I got him like December 23. I think it was 2023, yeah. So for Christmas, I did get the hamster Savic. I can't remember what it's called, but again, I'll put it up on the screen. So I got the like hamster Savic Plaza. I think that's what it was called. I'm not exactly sure, but it was around 450 square inch cage.
So guys, I do just want to quickly stop here and explain. So on the website it does say that the cage is 80 centimeter by 50 centimeters, which would give a total of 4,000 centimeters squared, and that is around 620 square inches. However, I have measured out the cage myself and it is a bit less than that, so probably about like 500 square inches.
I had a deep amount of bedding. I had just like all the huts and stuff, and I kind of also crowded the cage, had a sand bath. So at this point in time, it was quite a lot better, and I was really kind of happy with my hamster care. And at this point in time, like, it was like pretty happy. However, the cage still didn't have things like sprays, herbs, just different substrates, because I only really had sand, which it isn't like that big of an issue, but of course more substrates is always better. And yeah, so there was just a few things missing. It was pretty like, it was good hamster care, but it was just kind of a boring setup and there wasn't much. So then of course Nugget started showing boredom behaviors. He started like barcoding and stuff, and obviously I realized these were warning behavior signs. So I immediately begged to upgrade the cage. That led me to get a bin cage. So I think that cage was about like 500 to like 550, somewhere about there, square inches of floor space. So I kind of, what I did, and I'll put a picture up here so you can kind of get an idea, but I had the his original cage, and I kind of just opened the door and then I attached the other bin cage to it, so that gave about like near about 900 and something square inches of floor space. Also, that bin cage I actually use for my current Roborsky hamster because it is pretty good cage. Like, I think the actual size of the cage is excellent. So yeah. And yeah, that's kind of where I began to put more enrichment. I got sprays. I think I got like millet spray, flax sprays, more substrates. I had just a bunch of little huts. I started DIYing things, and yeah, that was basically just where my hamster care got really good. But of course, like, it showed boredom behaviors, because one thing I will say about Nike, he is kind of like he really wants a big cage. He's very unhappy, and it wasn't until I got his paw hut cage, I think for Christmas 2023, where he finally wasn't showing boredom behaviors. So yeah. And from there, it just kind of was about my cage setups, and they have improved quite a bit from when I first got Nugget. And at this point of time, I think he is pretty happy in his paw hut. He has the right amount of bedding, and he has just a bunch of enrichment and different toys and substrates and sprays. And then, last but not least, that brings us to our latest addition to the pet family, who is Dipper. I think Dipper, as of right now, is about a month old. He is a Roborsky hamster who, as I said earlier, is living in this 500 square inch bin cage. I, of course, was thinking of upgrading when I got him. Like, as of right now, he's not showing any boredom behaviors, and so I'm going to keep him in here for probably some time, but I probably will get to upgrading at some point in his life. With Dipper, he has a sand bath that covers about like a third or maybe a half of his cage, because of course he is a Roborsky. He also has beach chips and cocoa fiber in his cage. So yeah, and of course sprays and all that stuff. So yeah, that is my hamster care throughout the years. Even though I haven't had many hamsters, I think my hamster care has improved so much throughout the years, and it's taken quite a while to get here. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that, I guess, if watching this video can help you not make the same mistakes as I did. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!